season 2 of the Spectre of Truth show. You can see we got a new format. We're doing things a little different now, going a whole nother direction. This is the direction that I've actually always wanted to, some things I've always wanted to get into, dealing with things that have been really special to me since childhood. And we used to sit around and debate and discuss, whether you're talking about comic books, movies, TV shows, whatever. We were always into this stuff, man. And it's like you just could never get enough of it. It's like you never seem to have enough time to discuss it. But with this season 2, I'm going into that area. We're going to be discussing the entertainment industry. We're going to be discussing the comic books, the movies, the cartoons, everything that's been out, things that you probably don't know about, never heard about, never thought about. But with this, I think you'll be able to see it in a different light. So we coming at it from a whole new angle, man. But it's not just let's talk about TV shows. I go in on it from a different perspective in terms of dealing with some of the backstory of this stuff that you may not be aware of. I don't just say, hey, this is a good movie. Yeah, this is really good. Go see it. No, I get in on it, man. I go in on the facts and the data and the little known history of some of these franchises that are out here. This stuff didn't just pop out of thin air. So that's where I go in on a deeper level of it, and I think you'll enjoy a lot of the information that's about to be presented. We're gonna go deep on it. So with that having been said, I want to issue a special welcome to all of the nerds, fanboys, girls, cosplayers, otaku, which is the Japanese word that describes people who are really, really into anime, manga, video games, computers, all of that kind of thing. They call them otaku. So they tend to get somewhat sidelined and rejected in mainstream society. But here you will have a home, and we welcome you and hope that all of you all come here and feel comfortable and participate. So, of course, we also want to welcome just the normal ladies and gentlemen. All right. So I would like to thank you all for coming to check this out. This is the first episode of season 2. I am the Spectre of Truth. All right. So this new series is called F.R.O. This is facts, reviews, and opinions, where we will check out the hottest movies, games, TV shows, and do reviews on all of the just various products that I personally have found to be exceptional in value and quality. So that's where we're going with this. It's very different from what it was before. That other issue, the other season 1 was really dealing with a lot of social issues, black man versus black woman, political type stuff, social political agendas and all of that. That was cool, but I really have said all I needed to say about that. All of that stuff is out there. It's been done. It's been said. You got a million people talking about it. We don't need to keep rehashing it. And I feel like if you didn't get it in the last 2 years that I was putting it out, then putting it out for another year, you're still not going to get it, But if you did get it, then you already have it, and you don't need me to keep talking about it. So let's move forward, and we can get into some stuff that's not necessarily, don't have to be all that deep. I'm going to have a lot of fun with this because this is my thing. This is what I'm into. I'm an artist. And I've always been into creating these characters, come up with my own characters, drawing and painting characters from Marvel and DC. So this is a lot of fun for me. So I think you'll enjoy it too. So we're going to keep this shorter than the other ones. We don't need 3-4 hour videos for that. It's not that much information to put out. It don't have to be that serious, but we're going to go a little bit in on it, but it don't have to be 3 or 4 hours and all. So we're going to keep this a little shorter. But it is a lot of information out there that we could go into. And you may not have heard about it, but you're going to hear about it now. So get your tea, your coffee, your pizza, your tofu, whatever you into, because today we are about to delve in on a movie, TV, and comic book series that I have loved since I was about 7 years old. Superman. And so to go into this character right now is perfect timing, because as you may or may not know, there is a new actor named David Cornsweet that, I know the name, man, is crazy. And, it's weird to me because a lot of times when actors have these weird names, they'll change the name of the actor to something kind of a little bit more cool, and you be like, wow, okay, that's cool, but that's not his real name, So I don't know why they didn't do that with him. Me personally, if I'd been producer, I would have called him something different. You know, we would have put another name on there, just something that flowed a little bit better with the audiences. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people don't know. Stephen King, as I believe, that's not his real name. So it sounds cool, especially talking about horror movies and stuff like that. Stephen King, you know, it has an energy to it, power to it, you know, but that's not his real name. So David Corenswet, that's the new Superman, the new actor playing Superman. And he is coming out, he's getting ready to reboot the whole Superman franchise in July of this year. So yeah, 7 more months and we will get to see what Hollywood's controversial director James Gunn has been able to do with this longtime superhero favorite. Everybody loves Superman. All right. So the new trailer just dropped a few weeks ago. So without further ado, let's kick this off by checking out the new trailer, Superman.
F.R.O.
Home. Take me home.
Superman.
Yeah, man, there you go. So what do you think? Comment below. Let me know. Does it look good? You like it? Does it look corny? Maybe kind of interesting? You know, let's go in on it. So first of all, it's already had a screening. You know, they've already let people see it, check it out, and comment about it. And apparently the screeners did not like it. They didn't care for it that much. It was not getting rave reviews. But see, we got to kind of be careful going just from those screeners and reviews, just on the initial, because we don't know who they got to screen it. Today's audience and screeners are not what they used to be when I was growing up. I mean, you know, people who came in, we came up in a masculine era, the 70s and the 80s, you know, brothers was rough and tough, you know, they was taking martial arts. That was real big back then, you know, so we was into that macho type of thing. So something like Superman, that would have fit perfect with what we were into. You see what I'm saying? But today, it's a little different, you know what I'm saying? You know, we see something like Superman and we flip, oh my God, that was badass, man. Did you see that? Today they get some screeners to watch it and you may get something like, hey today. You see what I'm saying? So we gotta wait for the real audience reviews to hit in July and see what they're saying. So, you see though that this is another reboot. Man, that's the first thing I could say I don't like. Everybody is sick to death of all these reboots. They didn't have all these reboots in the 80s, so why so many today? It's because they keep trying to cram their agendas into the movies, and the masses of people reject it and don't like it, and it's like, I'm done, I'm not going to see it, I'm not interested. And I'm like that too. I start seeing little hidden agendas in there. I'm not interested in that. I'm not going to see it. So they spend hundreds of millions of dollars to make these movies, and they keep crashing and burning left and right. Most of them end up really just being chick flicks, let's be honest. And you got some little 120-pound woman out there beating the crap out of Batman or Superman or something. She's throwing them all over the screen. She's tossing Spider-Man off of a building. She's smacking the Jedi around, in Star Wars or something. And people wonder why the movie failed later on. The producers and the studio executives can't figure out, well, why didn't they like it? What happened? And they're destroying these franchises one after the other. They can't figure out why people don't like it. All right, these movies are failing miserably, and eventually they ruin it so badly that they got to start the whole damn series over again. Reboot and pretend like none of the Star Wars stuff ever happened. We're gonna start all over again, and that's happening. They really are rebooting Star Wars because they ruined it by turning it into a chick flick. Nobody was interested, got horrible reviews. They almost killed the entire franchise, a multi-billion-dollar franchise, maybe a multi-trillion-dollar. It's been out since the 70s. And so now they're starting it all over again because they ruined it. They had the female Jedi running around and literally cutting a TIE fighter in half with a lightsaber. Come on, man. So anyway, Superman, though, is a rather unique character in all of this because he is notoriously difficult to write for. DC actually rebooted Superman comics in 1986 because they made him too powerful. It might seem kind of cool to make these super powerful characters, but if you make them too powerful, it becomes almost impossible to write for them because what can hurt them? You can't have a story, an interesting story, if you don't have a character that can get in trouble. Nobody cares about Superman fighting a bank robber or, or throwing people out of a building or something, a bad guy into a tree. Nobody cares because he can't get hurt. It's only interesting if he can actually get hurt. And they made him so powerful that, they almost couldn't write for him anymore because he'd been out for so long. They'd already told so many stories about him. What else can you say? What else can you tell that hasn't already been, been there, done that? I've seen that, or we heard that already, So what else can you do? How can you keep this fresh with a character that can't be hurt? Okay. So if you recall, some of y'all may have been fans of the Superman movies back in the 70s and 80s with Christopher Reeve. Okay. In that story in particular, he was still with the super powered up, overpowered type character. And in that series, Lois Lane had died at one point in the Superman movie. Superman got so upset that he literally flew around the world in the opposite direction from the Earth's rotation, made the Earth spin backwards, which reversed time and brought Lois Lane back to life.
my son. It is forbidden for you to interfere in human business.
One thing I do know, son, and that is you are here for a reason.
All those things I can do, all those powers, and I couldn't even save him. Hi. Don't bother, I think it's dead.
Sure, it's dead. The problem with Men of Steel, there's never one around when you want one. You know what happened to me while you were off flying around? I was almost...
Powerful scene. But when a guy can do that, you know what I'm saying? How do you keep writing for him to show that something can hurt him, to show that he's in danger, to keep him interesting? You know, the guy can, bend time. I mean, that's about as overpowered as it gets. Okay. He could also fly through space without breathing. He could move planets. He never got tired. He was just an omnipotent God character. All right. So basically, the only thing that could hurt him was kryptonite. So in the, I think it was in the 80s, they had a writer named John Byrne. They put him to work, and they had him to kind of nerf down Superman a little bit. And John Byrne was the one that, made him, he nerfed him down to the point where he now needed a special suit to fly through space, because he does need air to breathe now. All right. That didn't used to be, as you saw, where he was going around the Earth. But all of that happened in the 80s. Okay. I think it was 1986. All that happened in the 80s. The 80s was a turning point. And it was the origin for almost everything that you see out here today, from rap to movies to TV shows. Almost everything is a remake of what we had back then. All right. There's been so many actors to play the role of Superman since 1940, when he was released as an audio-only radio program. A lot of people don't know Superman went all the way back, and they used to listen to radio for entertainment. They didn't have TV back in the 40s, or 30s and 40s. I think there was a period where they didn't have TVs. They used to listen to their entertainment on the radio. So they had a Superman radio program. You just listen to it. Look, today we call it an audiobook. All right. But that went way back. That's old school, man. Okay. So back in the 40s, you're talking about like before World War II, they were listening to Superman on the radio. All right. And he actually started out as a comic book in 1938. All right, so the general consensus among fans is that Christopher Reeve, the one you just saw in that clip, going around the Earth and all that, set the bar for Superman actors for all time. He was that good. He was that well loved. He looked that close to the character that everybody was like, that's it. If you can't top him, you're not, we don't even want to see it. Okay. So that was the general consensus of the fans. But most fans also believe that Henry Cavill was the first to surpass that bar. And I agree with that. Mad respect to Christopher Reeve, man. But damn, Cavill was a beast with his. Check this out.
my son. Our hopes and dreams travel with you.
He'll be an outcast. They'll kill him.
How? He'll be a god to them.
What if a child dreamed of becoming something other than what society had intended? What if a child aspired to something greater?
My son was in the bus. He saw what Clark did.
You're the answer, son. You're the answer to are we alone in the universe?
Can I just keep pretending I'm your son?
You are my son. And I have to believe that you were sent here for a reason. And even if it takes the rest of your life, you owe it to yourself to find out what that reason is.
How do you find someone who has spent a lifetime covering his tracks? For some, he was a guardian angel. For others, a ghost who never quite fit in.
You will give the people of Earth an ideal to strive towards. They will race behind you. They will stumble. They will fall. But in time, they will join you in the sun. In time, you will help them accomplish wonders.
You believe your son is safe? I will find him!
My father believed that if the world found out who I really was, they'd reject me. He was convinced that the world wasn't ready. What do you think?
What's the S stand for?
It's not an S.
On my world, it means hope.
Well, here it's an S. How about
Excuse me.
See? Man, Henry Cavill generated such a hardcore fan base with his Superman portrayal that when James Gunn canceled the Justice League trilogy, some of y'all might not know, they was doing a Justice League series. It was going to be 3 movies. They only did 1, and then he came in and took it over and canceled it and rebooted the whole thing, So Justice League was going to be produced by Zack Snyder. Then James Gunn came in, fired Henry Cavill, hired a younger actor, this David Cornsweet, and you saw him, and then fans felt so disrespected, so betrayed, so angry and resentful towards James Gunn that they sided with Cavill 100%. Any new movie or project that Cavill wanted to work on, the fans from his Superman days were willing to basically follow him and support him in any movie that he was going to be in. All right, they will flock to see any movie that he does, and they will literally boycott any movie that Cavill tells them to. So actually, he could tell his fan base not to support the new Superman movie, and I believe that most would follow that request if he said it. But of course, he would never do that. Yeah, he could get sued, but more than that, he's just not that kind of guy. I think he's a class act. I think he is worthy of that Superman mantle, that character. You never hear about him being involved in any kind of BS out here in the street. So, people respect that. They love this guy. Okay, so I just think that, in closing, my opinion on all of this is that James Gunn went about this all the wrong way. Justice League was left with a cliffhanger at the end, and everyone was expecting at least 3 movies out of this franchise. I think that DC should have definitely given the fans what they wanted. and they should have let Snyder finish the Justice League trilogy with Cavill and all of the other actors that were involved, and then they should have rebooted Superman with the new actor. He wouldn't have gotten nearly as much hate and pushback from his audience had they let Cavill to go out gracefully and to finish out his trilogy, his Justice League trilogy. And I think people would have respected that transition a lot more. DC needs to learn, not just DC, Marvel, Disney, all these big giant studios that just basically go around shitting on all their actors and fans. These people need to learn how to respect their audience, and they need to also learn how to chain their franchises together. What do I mean by that? Well, the end of the third Justice League should have spawned a new franchise that everybody, all the fans, have been waiting on for decades. The end of the Justice League trilogy should have brought forth a Batman Beyond series. They should have had Green Arrow out there. They should have a Green Arrow movie series. They talking about doing a new Wonder Woman now. They're getting rid of Gal Gadot. She's going, and now they got a new Wonder Woman that's going to be coming out younger. Again, they're going younger again. All these characters have to stay forever 30. That's basically the premise behind it. All these superheroes and characters must be forever 30. So that's why they're doing this. They should have then also a new Flash, which they never got him accurate to the animated version. Animated Flash was off the chain. He was fantastic, but the live action Flashes have never matched up to the animated version. But after all of that, then they could have rebooted the Justice League with Corn Sweat and all of the other new actors. These weirdos running Hollywood keep dropping the ball though, not listening to their fans and using their movies and games to push their bullshit agendas that nobody gives a damn about. We just don't. Nobody wants to hear it. We want to go to a movie, want to be entertained, have fun. But as a result of that, they've been hemorrhaging millions of dollars per year, dropping flop after flop after flop. Maybe one of them one day will see this video, get their thumbs out of their asses and start respecting the actors and respect their fans. And they need to respect the history of the franchise. That's the one thing they don't know. They go and get these people that have made backdoor deals. They put them in charge of a franchise that has a history going all the way back to the 30s and 40s. And then they let that person take control of that. And these people will come out and tell you that I didn't know anything about this. I've never watched this character. I've never read the comic book. I've never seen a Star Wars movie. I've never seen a Superman movie or a Batman movie. And then they'll put them in charge of the entire new production. I don't get that, And so then we wonder again why these movies are flopping left and right and nobody wants to see them. But if they start to respect the franchise and the history and the fans and start to give people what they want, then and hire people that actually are enjoy and love the franchise and love the characters and want to be a part of it, then maybe people can actually start going to the movies again, and these studios can start to show a profit again. You see what I'm saying? So when you have an empty theater, that should tell you something, but apparently they're still not getting it. All right. I personally am a movie collector. I have DVDs. If I really like the movie, I go get the DVD. Go see the movie costs about $10, $15, $17, something like that. The DVD will cost $25 to $30, and I'll go get it, man. If it's something I really love, something I really want to enjoy, I'll go get the movie, get a pizza, get some popcorn, whatever. And I'm sitting there, man, and I'm in heaven. I'm loving it. I'm, at the home theater, feet kicked up in the lazy boy, and I got the big screen on. I'm all into it. But it's been fewer and fewer movies that I can do that with. All right, so they're just not putting out what we want to see. They're putting out what they want to put out. And then they got agendas woven in there with it. We don't want to see that. But if they start, coming at us the way that we want, giving us what we want to see, we'll pay $25 for a DVD, for those of us that still have DVD players, and want to watch it. A lot of people think the DVDs are no longer for sale. You can get them online. You can get DVD players online. So they are still out there. They are for people that are really, really into it. They're expensive, They work with a surround sound system. You got to have a home theater. And if you're really into it like that, you'll pay whatever it takes to build one. And then you go get your movies and set you up a nice little collection. So it's not a lot of people that do that anymore. It was bigger back again in the 80s and 90s. That was the big thing. That's faded out a little bit now. So it's also going to fade out if you got bad movies. All right, nobody's going to watch your agendas. Nobody wants to see that. So that's kind of the silver lining to the cloud for all of this, for having all these bad movies, is you save a lot of money because you don't go see it and you don't go buy the DVD. Not putting money on that. So that's almost kind of a good thing, but you also run out of good stuff to watch. So with all of that said, subscribe and be sure to come back as we drill down on another of my favorite franchises, probably my number one top favorite. I'm gonna show you why this is one of the coolest series ever made next time on